Many women in menopause suffer from acid reflux, and it could be in the form of heartburn, or it could be that they feel like they have food stuck in their throat, or difficulty swallowing, or even bad breath. All of these are symptoms of acid reflux. And having acid reflux is kind of normal, but if it's something that is like constant, or it happens very often, or it gets really bad, then it's not normal and it needs to be treated. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to help the 42% of women in menopause that report these symptoms. And of course, this 42% is according to one study, but you get the idea. The number is right up there. Hello, my name is Dr. Sonoy Escobar. I'm a doctor in clinical nutrition and a registered dietitian. Acid reflux is something that is really common among my patients. So I'm going to share some of the recommendations that I give them. So, and hopefully you will benefit from this. So the first one is to achieve and maintain a healthy weight. Even a very modest weight loss can help the symptoms of acid reflux. And also, when people gain weight, sometimes they find that the symptoms get worse. And this doesn't have to be like a 20-pound loss or a 20-pound weight gain. These are small numbers. So if you lose 5 pounds, don't discount that. Like 5 pounds could be very, very beneficial in terms of like the symptoms that you feel. Now, the next thing is to eat small, frequent meals, which in turn will help you lose weight. But when you eat large meals, they will first take a longer time to digest. And then second, they can get pushed up really quickly into the esophagus. So out of the stomach, and causing that feeling of burning, that burning sensation in your esophagus. A common pattern that I suggest is to have a small breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then have 2 snacks in between. And these could be in different ways. If you are an early riser and have breakfast at 7, and then your lunch is at 1 p.m., then between 7 and 1, that's a good time to have a small snack. If the contrary, you have a late breakfast, let's say 9 a.m., and then lunch at 1, and then your dinner is at 7, then you can have 1 to 2 snacks like between lunch and dinner. So play around, see what works best for you. Then the next thing is just to reduce the total amount of fat in the meals. You can achieve this by avoiding fried foods, by saying goodbye to like all the fast foods, or decreasing the amount of fat that you use when cooking. And I need to go back. I'm not gonna tell you to never again in your life eat fried food or a hamburger, but these have to be like in moderation. So let's say that you really feel like having a hamburger, then it's fine. The thing is that this cannot happen every day of the week. And also, if you're gonna have a hamburger, try a smaller hamburger, and then just skip the fries altogether, and then do not order the shake that many times you order. And we'll talk about soda a little bit after in this video. But anyways, the idea is that not to overload your body with fat, especially at dinner time. This is when the acid reflux can get worse. Then the next thing is all the baked goods, the French toast, the muffins, the cakes, the sweets, the ice cream, all that, besides having a lot of sugar, they tend to have a lot of fat. So you have to be very mindful of this. And last, when you are cooking, you want to be mindful about the amount of fat that you put into your cooking. I do love my air fryer because it allows me to have foods that are traditionally fried in a way that they still taste really good. It's not the same, but they taste really good. And I have that feeling of fried foods, you know, like I can do like chicken, like fried chicken, but in the air fryer. So with very little fat, I can have French fries and all the good stuff without the fat. So it's really easy to find ways in your kitchen to decrease the amount of fat. And then when you are pouring the oil to cook something, just like do half or less, right? So you might have to learn a few cooking techniques to make things taste great without the fat, but is very, very possible and very easy. Then the next thing is we're going to use gravity to help acid reflux. When we're sitting up straight, like I am right now, if I was eating, all the food will go down into my stomach, and it will be less opportunity for me to have acid reflux. But if I was eating in my sofa watching TV, then instead of having that gravity helping down, we will have that food coming up because of gravity. And this is the same reason why you want to have your last meal 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. So you avoid those like uncomfortable symptoms in the middle of the night. And then you can sleep better, because once you sleep poorly, like all the menopause symptoms get worse. You know, like anxiety, weight gain, like everything. I'm not gonna go into all the symptoms, because if you are listening to the video, there's a chance that maybe you know some of them. But you know, like sleeping is key to feel better. So very important that you prevent your acid reflux at night. Then the next thing is what to eat throughout the day, because there are evidence that like a healthy diet full of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean protein, all of that overall will help with the reflux. And then there's foods that you definitely want to avoid. Beginning with foods that are like high in acid, like tomatoes and citrus fruits. Then spicy foods, because they do contain just a compound that slows down your digestion. And worse, it causes burping. So when you burp, the acid is gonna come up, and you know you're gonna have those uncomfortable feelings. Then we are here. Coffee and alcohol. Yes, coffee is an irritant to the GI system, even the decaf coffee. So see if you can just completely eliminate the coffee, and that could really help. But if you cannot eliminate it, at least do only 1 or 2 cups early in the morning. That will help with the symptoms. But if it still causes heartburn, then you know it's time to eliminate and find alternatives. I mean, there's really good alternatives. Like I love matcha lattes. And I don't know, at night you can have golden milk, which is like full of nutrients. It's like a milk, but it has like turmeric, and it has just like a tiny little bit of like a honey or like stevia, something like that, and ginger. Yeah. Let me see if I say all the ingredients correctly. Yeah, to the one that I make, I usually use a plant-based milk. I love the cashew ones because of the flavor. Then I add a little bit of like, the honey, the ginger, the turmeric. Yeah, very important. I was missing the turmeric. And that, you know, gives me that feeling of like having something warm before I go to bed, but at the same time, it's not coffee. So, you know, there's many alternatives to coffee, so you can do that. And then let's make sure that if we are avoiding the caffeine in coffee, we don't have caffeine in sodas or in energy drinks, because those are very easy to consume and don't even realize we're consuming caffeine. Then the next thing is alcohol, because alcohol not only relaxes your mind, but actually relaxes your whole body. Especially it relaxes that little ring that we have, that's like a little door between our esophagus and our stomach. That is called the lower esophageal sphincter. That relaxes too. So when it relaxes, boop, opens up, and when it opens out, it allows the contents of the intestine to go up. The intestines, I'm sorry, contents of the stomach, which is where the acid is, they go up, and then it causes the heartburn. Now, not everybody reacts the same to alcohol, and you might be able to drink one glass of wine or one alcoholic drinks without any issues, but there are some people that not. So see how you feel, but definitely at the very least, drink in moderation, which moderation is one drink for women. The good things is that we have tons of like alternatives now. The non-alcoholic liqueurs are really good and can make really, really nice mocktails. I do have a full blog about it, the alternatives to alcohol, so go ahead and read it. Also, the Sober Curious movement is a really cool thing to read if you are looking into decreasing the amount of alcohol that you consume. Next is, okay, let's go back to bed. When you are sleeping is when many of the symptoms can get worse, causing you a poor night, like causing you to sleep very poorly. So you want to sleep with your bed elevated, like 40, 30 degrees, give and take, right? I mean, depending of where you feel comfortable. The thing is that pillows are not going to do this trick. You actually want to buy a wedged pillow, which is just like if you can imagine a rectangle, like a big stuffed rectangle, it's going to give you this. I don't know. It's going to give you like this, like it's like a pillow that kind of looks like this, and it's firm. So when you're sleeping, you are at that angle that you want to be. Or you can have a widget for your bed that you put under the mattress, and it's going to give you the same elevation. Last, you can also use bed raisers, and that will help. And then the last thing, or the last two things that I want to talk about is smoking, because smoking is correlated with acid reflux. So you want to quit smoking. I mean, it's not good for you anyways. And last, you want to exercise. The thing is that gentle exercise helps, like doing like yoga, walking, all of that good stuff helps. But when you try to exercise at the very high intensity, that can make it worse. So I'm one that loves exercising hard, but if you have acid reflux symptoms, go back and exercise moderately, like half an hour, 45 minutes, like every day, something that is gentle. And then if you want to push yourself a little harder, do it, but do it slowly to see how are you feeling. Well, I hope this helps. I know if you follow these steps will help. Like everything, when you're changing habits, I always recommend to change one or two things at a time. Do it for like a couple of weeks, and then see how you're feeling, and then keep adding. I know you have this. I know that you can feel better. I have no doubt.